Dear friends in Marriage Encounter, we are pleased to be able to share with you today on Palm Sunday how different this year is as we begin Holy Week. We are feeling the loss of our Holy Week routine and celebrations, and this has prompted us to realise how privileged we are in normal times. Despite the pandemic, we're in good health, and we're lucky to be sharing our isolation with 2 of our 3 children. As the leadership team for Marriage Encounter in England and Wales, we, along with Father Tom and our national board, were concerned about the potential for the national isolation to challenge and break the bonds of relationships and of our Marriage Encounter community. So we've been thinking of ways in which to help keep us all connected, and this is one of them. A weekly video from our national board showing the ups and downs of our lives as we journey by your side through this global crisis. We know from some of our fellow leadership teams in Europe how devastating the virus has been, with the society feeling scared and alone. However, we've also experienced their faith in God and their resolve to make a choice each day to love those around them, living the message of our movement, love one another as I have loved you. As our first sharing, we would like to read a poem which you may already have seen on social media, written by Catherine Amira as an outlet for her growing anxieties in these extraordinary times.
And the people stayed home, and they read books, and listened, and rested, and exercised, and made art, and played games, and learnt new ways of being, and were still. And they listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows, and the people began to think differently, and the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous and mindless and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed, and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses and made new choices, and dreamed new images, and created new ways to live, and to heal the earth fully, as they had been healed. This poem seems to sum up just where many of us are at the moment. The opening line, so simple, now carries so much meaning and weight. Never before have we all, as people around the globe, understood what it meant to be isolated in this way. And yet for many, this is their daily reality without the current situation. What sang out for us, though, is the hope that shines through. This past week, we've taken a walk together each day, have had fun playing card games with our son and daughter. We've listened to them more, when we usually spend just a few minutes chatting as we pass each other by, leading our separate lives each day. Importantly, we have shared our feelings, our fears and anxieties, but mostly there's been lots of laughter. Inspired to ponder this poem a little more, we chose to write to the question, what words or phrase stand out for me in this poem? How do I feel about my answer? And this is what I wrote. My dearest Mark, the words that stand out for me are learnt new ways of being. In this difficult time, I've had to look at the way I behave. Having a cough has meant that we've all had to be in self-isolation for the last 2 weeks. Normally, I would just carry on, but these are not normal times, and I'm not very good at following instructions. There are times when I felt frustrated, and probably like a lot of people, have thought that this virus will pass us by and be no more of a problem than winter flu. But it's a lot bigger than that. I've I've tried so hard to stay positive, but at the same time, I've been scared. You're going back to the office on Monday, and I've got no control over that. For the last few days, we've been safe, and that's been great, although I've been scratchy with you and the children at times. But I thank God that you are safe. I've not been able to settle to do anything. I've found that I'm flitting from one chore to another. But then I shake myself and square my shoulders and take a deep breath and move forward. The feelings don't go away. That sick feeling at the pit of my stomach is still there. Going back to school on Thursday was with mixed feelings. On one hand, excitement that I was seeing friends again, but the uncertainty of what I was walking into. But it was all right. The life of school goes on, even if it was with a few children. Lessons, helping them with their maths and English, breaks and lunch, then art in the afternoon, until at last home time. But all the time, listening to the children as they wanted to talk, trying to make sense of the world that's gone mad around them. I know it's not the same as other key workers, but I feel I've done a little to help, a small cog in a larger picture. All my love, Suze.
My darling Sue, the first words that stood out for me are, "and we're still." They remind me of the anticipation I wake up with each morning as I wait to hear the morning news, the flurry of questions that swirl in my head. Have there been more deaths? Is the isolation advice going to get tighter? Are any of us feeling unwell? Have we got enough milk or bread? It is as if I'm holding my breath, waiting for the bad news. I'm still on the exterior, but inside I'm in turmoil. I don't really want to share this with you, as I can hear the anxiety in your voice too. So I'm trying to be positive and think of all the really good things that we hear in the news. As I read through the rest of the poem, I felt my breathing relax, and when I got to the words, "and made new choices, and dreamed new images, and created new ways to live," I felt a great sense of relief and a sense of hope. These words reminded me of the Marriage Encounter Lighthouse project, the way in which the European Marriage Encounter community has seen this as a focus to draw community together. How, in our sharings and formation, it has percolated our thoughts and ideas. I was reminded of the passionate discussions we've had at National Board, and I thought of the relationships we've built with couples and priests, relationships that have meaning, a shared experience, and a journey in the beam of the lighthouse. And lastly, I'm reminded of you. The dreams we shared on our wedding day have changed and grown, but I relish each new day in the hope that I will share with you. Your love heals me. Thank you. And here's the question for you. What words or phrase stand out for me in this poem? How do I feel about my answer? We wrote for 10 minutes and shared for 10 minutes. If you have more time, you may want to allow longer, but don't be tempted to problem solve if you do. Just keep it to exploring feelings.
And before we finish, we'd like to mention that Father Tom will be sharing with us all next week on Easter Day. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you for listening. Our prayers are with you all this day. May God bless you and your loved ones.